Caden Lewis is one of my favorite players in the country in the class of 2025. Big time riser. We've talked about Acaden multiple times. I think even just a few days ago, we did a video on Acaden. He has really broken out in a big way. He was an under the radar 4-star guard prospect that Michigan was on, among many other schools. And then in the last week, some of the biggest programs in the sport have taken notice of Acaden. 6'3" guard out of DC. He's been averaging 15, 3, and 4 assists on the EYBL circuit with Team Durant. And he just wrapped up a visit to Kentucky. So he visited the Wildcats Mark Pope's program in person yesterday, I believe. That scared me. We talked about it already. We were like, okay, Acaden Lewis could be training Kentucky. This is scary. He gets home from the Kentucky visit, Cart. He immediately announces he's going to take an official visit to UConn. 12 hours after getting home from his Kentucky visit. So Acaden has gone from like under the radar guy, a lot of schools felt they had a chance with, to Kentucky might be the leader, to I loved Kentucky, now I'm ready for UConn, and Dan Hurley swoops in. First off, how surprised are you that UConn has swooped in on Acaden?
I'm not surprised whatsoever. Given his style of play, I think that he's a honestly an underrated recruit. I think most sites have him like right around the 60-ish range, kind of. And I honestly I think he should be higher than that. And I think UConn being a school that had success with point guards and obviously the history, and then recently Tristan Newton being a part of that, and Dan Hurley being Dan Hurley, it makes a lot of sense. And also, can I read you a quote here, G, and you tell me if this doesn't scream I might want to go to UConn, because this is exactly how I took it. Acadian said, "The culture of the school will be big for me. I want to see how they talk to their top guy, their second guy, their 13th guy. See how they treat their managers and everyone in the program. The roster will be big too. With the portal and everything going on there, I want to go into a family environment where I know the coaches are invested in me."
I read that quote, and I think that's advantage Kentucky over UConn.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, wait, talk to me on this.
I want to see how they talk to their top guy. I don't think you're a UConn guy if you're worried about how your coach talks to you. Period.
Ooh, okay, I didn't look at it like that.
Period. And look, maybe he means that as like, I want to be pushed, but any player talking about, oh, you should be talking to your players a certain way. Dan Hurley ain't gonna fly with that. Dan Hurley's gonna say whatever the hell he wants, whenever the hell he wants. I'm probably overreading one quote. Of course, UConn has a very serious chance here, and I would say, like, of all, there's a bunch of schools on him, schools that have recruited him long before Kentucky and UConn got involved. I think Kentucky and UConn are like the two leaders here. That's my read on this. The fact that it's heating up, the fact that he took an official to Kentucky and then is like quickly scheduling another official to UConn kind of strikes me as like Acaden Lewis wants to commit before some bigger guys commit potentially. Because let's be real, both UConn and Kentucky have opportunities to bring in higher rated guards than the 63rd rated player in the country, which is what Acaden Lewis is, even if we feel like that's undervalued. Like, Jasper Johnson has been rumored to Kentucky for forever. Are you taking both Acaden and Jasper? Do those guys both want to play together in the same class? Like, this ain't Calipari signing 15 lottery pick guards anymore. This is like Mark Pope wants his guy. And maybe Acaden can be his guy before Jasper commits to being his guy. Do you think that's a fair read? Like, it kind of feels like Acaden might want to commit before somebody else here.
Yeah, and also like his stock is pretty high as of now. Like with his play on the EYBL, with how he played down at the NBA PA camp, top 100 camp.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about striking when the iron's hot and getting in there before they possibly get other point guard prospects. So that makes a lot of sense to me, being where he's ranked, and also where, like, you look at his offer list, like Kentucky's in on Jasper Johnson, A-Cuff. Kansas is very much in on A-Cuff. Indiana's Indiana. They're going to be in on other big point guards as well. So it's like, sometimes if you do want to go to those places or get in there, you got to kind of get in there early and not waste time. And it is an unofficial to UConn, is what I'm seeing. So,
Oh,
unofficials that
they're both unofficial. Sorry, I
they are.
misspoke. Kentucky was unofficial as well.
Oh, I thought Kentucky was official.
It says unofficial.
It does. Okay. All right. I'm a big official unofficial guy. Like if it's an unofficial, I worry a lot less. If it's official, I sink into a deep hole. And I'm like, it's over. So,
Isn't
uh,
it? There's an argument to be made though. Unofficial means like they're visiting on their own behalf. Like maybe they're more interested than just being wined and dined by the school. You know?
true. It's like they're shooting their shot.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know. Look, he spoke really highly of his visit to Kentucky for what it's worth. He said it's amazing. Blue blood schools are the top of the top and are very selective. So to receive an offer specifically from a blue blood known for great guards, it's a great feeling. My visit was good. Enjoyed it. Blah 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 blah. I will say this from the outside looking in, from everything that's been said here. Acaden seems like a kid who is totally wowed by the fact that some of these schools are recruiting him, and he deserves it. It's different than the type of schools that have been after him, so he should soak it up. I think he's going to pull the trigger though. Like that's my read. Is he's just like so enamored with the fact that Kentucky and Yukon and Kansas are actually after him. I want to play at one of those schools. Program prestige. If he was like a recruit in the video game, program prestige would be where you put all your recruit points on this one. And to me, I still think Jasper Johnson could be leaning Kentucky. It might be who commits first. That might be my read on this.
If you're Kentucky, you don't. I mean, you take Lewis, but you're straightforward with him, and you don't like get off of Jasper because you got Lewis.
For
You take
sure.
him because he wants to come there, but
It
like you
says
don't.
something about Lewis that Mark Pope isn't playing the waiting game, though, right? Because a lot of coaches who are like not just doling out offers everywhere would normally say, like, oh, he has the first right. And if Jasper Johnson turns us down, then you're our point guard target. Like the fact that Kentucky's prioritizing Lewis means something for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the threes. You look at some of the prediction stuff and kind of where they're leaning. Um, the three schools that are highest predicted for him are Virginia, Georgia Tech, and Florida State in that order.
Yeah.
And those schools, to me, no disrespect to a Caden Lewis, they kind of sound more like the program that would be very much prioritizing after him.
Yeah. I think he's going to end up in Kentucky. I just want to get that on record.
Hmm.
You got any predictions?
Ooh, dude. If Georgetown's gonna have Malik Mack, I don't really know. I don't think it's gonna be a blue blood. So I'm
Really?
I'm taking a cop out there. I think he's gonna end up at not a blue blood, like
Okay.
Maryland or something.
See, to me, Acaden is actually like the sweet spot Mark Pope recruit. Get the guys who aren't the McDonald's All-American prestige guys, but who are actually as talented as them that have been a little overlooked by the recruiting services and come in, swoop in at the right time, play the Kentucky brand card, wow them at the visit, land it, and then from there, if you get Jasper, it's gravy, but at least you got your point guard spot locked down. We'll see. The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media big board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.